The final quarter-final on Saturday sees Argentina take on Switzerland. For Switzerland, of course, they came here after that penalty shootout victory against Colombia. For Argentina, it's been far from an easy road. They've made hard work of it. That incredible 3-2 win over Cape Verde. 79 minutes to go against Egypt. They were 2-0 down, came from behind to win 3-2. A lot of talking points going into this. And what's interesting, as we were saying before, is that at the start of the tournament, if you said you had Switzerland in the quarterfinals and Argentina, you'd be so delighted. We would be like, what's the even point discussing this? Argentina are going to win it. But what we've seen from Argentina has kind of opened up questions about them going into this. Is that fair?
Yeah, what we've seen against Cape Verde and Egypt was a chaotic Argentina. An Argentina that can't keep clean sheets. Lost, I think, 5 goals at least in this tournament thus far. But it relies on MESSI and others and great finishes and great goals, and has made games, particularly in the second half, has made games open and end to end, and they've got away with it. And I think you can use that term. They have scored some great goals to dig themselves out a hole, and let's be honest about it, they've had favourable decisions from the officials thus far in this tournament.
I hope there's none this time. Wouldn't it be nice if we're just not talking about the officials after an Argentina game?
Well, I mean, I don't want to go back to match day 1, but Messi should have been red carded. And you could debate the Egypt, not that goal that was chopped off, it went all the way up the field, was as soft as hell. So they've had favourable decisions. The chance of that happening all the way to a final and through a final are slim. As more eyes get on you and as the better referees get the end games, they're going to have to play better. They're probably going to have to play better to beat Switzerland because they're super organised. They're not a huge threat going forward, but they're super organised. And they'll be looking at this Argentina side and they'll be looking to pick those little holes. When Argentina get as open as they have been, let's see if Switzerland can hit them in the counter-attack. But it's made Argentina fun to watch. Really fun to watch, but it doesn't bode well for them playing against a better side, probably in the semi-finals.
You will have Granit Xhaka, who's going to take care of Messi. I want to see that because that's going to be interesting. How Argentinian players can do with maybe without Messi, because Granit Xhaka or some others are going to take care of him because they know that without Messi, they're not the same team.
But he'll just drag Xhaka. If they try and man-mark Messi, he'll just drag them into areas they don't want to go.
Maybe it doesn't bother them because they know that that's taking an equation out of the system, and that would be easier for them. And I'm sorry, they've been winning just by a margin every games, and at some point you will have to fail.
But they have been winning. That's
yeah, they've been winning, and good for them. And because of that fantastic player that Lionel Messi is, but at a certain time, that's going to stop. And if you have a well-organized Swiss team, that can be another story.
I don't think you need to put a man marker on Messi. Neither Cape Verde nor Egypt did. You have to be aware of him whenever the ball is anywhere in that half of the park, of course. Cape Verde were very organised, I will say, and played on the front foot. And maybe it's because Argentina took the lead and that kind of forced Cape Verde to play on the front foot. But Argentina didn't have a response to that. Different game against Egypt because Egypt took the lead and then they just dropped all the way off and tried to soak up pressure and tried to ride the game out. And then when came time for them to try to get something back in the game, it just wouldn't work for them. I see Switzerland approaching this game more in the manner that Cape Verde did, but with better players. And that makes this a very difficult game for Argentina. But to your point, Dan, before the start of this tournament, if you looked at Argentina's run to this point, not really played anybody, but you get Switzerland in a quarterfinal, you're quite happy with that if you're Argentina.
We'll be getting everybody's predictions later on in the show. What a tease.
Oh, okay.
Oh, surprises.
But I suppose we've got to talk about transfers. Transfer talk is over on the website. It's starting to hot up a little bit now, post-World Cup. Transfers being discussed. Be sure, I should sell this better, shouldn't I? Be sure to check it out.
Yeah. Sound excited.
Portugal have a new coach. Jorge Jesus is in charge, and inevitably he was asked in his press conference about the future of Cristiano Ronaldo. He will never be a problem for the national team or for me. As for the controversy, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Chris is a symbol of Portugal. He will go down in history. It has been a great pleasure working with him. He is incredibly easy to work with. If he is in a position to be called up, I will do so.
Well, he managed them in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
It's good to see Belgium have got Portugal gone for a young up-and-coming coach, a 71-year-old. But anyway, I'm not no ageism on here. Look, Christian, Portugal have to move on from this, and Roberto Martinez should have knocked it on the head at the first press conference when he got the job. He did not, and it just hung over him, and he didn't have the stomach to make the big decision, and they went out. At some point, I think Ronaldo has to take himself. I also think Ronaldo should take himself out.
Well, he did say, didn't he, afterwards, and then that's it. But
that's the problem, because if he says I carry on, nobody's going to say no.
Well, somebody has to say no.
Well, it doesn't seem to be the case with that new coach.
As a country, you have to move forward, and we all said coming into this World Cup for months that Portugal, who have a very talented squad, were never going to compete properly to win this World Cup with a 41-year-old up front. And you only had to look at history, the recent history of major tournaments, to tell you that he'd struggled in the last 2 or 3. And you have to be an absolute clown to think that if you've struggled in the last 2 or 3, that 6-7 years later, in your early 40s, you're going to be better against younger, fitter, quicker defenders in the heat here in the United States. I mean, it's just bonkers, really. So it's been amazing. And he's an amazing player, an amazing athlete. I've loved watching him play. Him and Messi, I don't think it'll ever be repeated. 2 players like that, of that generation, with that talent. But it's over at this level, and let's be honest, it's over at club level, apart from being in Saudi Arabia, banging in a few goals where nobody cares.
I think between Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo are looking for is a good way to say goodbye, a good send-off. I'm not sure what that is or what that looks like, but given what he's represented for Portuguese football, you almost, if you're a Portugal fan, you don't want to see him leave in this circumstance.
You could argue for having a showcase
game in
against
Portugal,
Brazil or somebody.
On Portuguese soil, something of the sort.
Yeah.
But I think they're just looking for that moment that the country can say goodbye and he can do the same. But again, a lot of that comes down to Cristiano Ronaldo, what he wants to do, and more to the point, when he wants to do it.
Portugal, obviously out of the World Cup. We're down to 7 teams? 6 teams? No, 7 teams. Spain have thrown in. Yeah. 5 teams? Good.
6.
Oh, my God.
3.